It was a very eventful weekend in Dublin this past weekend. The NFL was in town or in the city. The American football fans were beside themselves going to see a game at Croke Park. We saw the Star Spangled Banner. We saw the Irish tricolour in Croke Park. We saw tens of thousands of people gathered to celebrate. But of course, a visit to Dublin wouldn't be complete without a sample of what Dublin has to offer: the food, the drink, the crack, and of course, the crime. The crime. And one of the travelling players was assaulted and robbed in Dublin on Friday night. This is a quarterback for the NFL. Big, strong, strapping guy. Even he was not immune to some exposure to Dublin's finest criminals, that is. And Jim O'Callaghan, the so-called Justice Minister, who feels that Dublin is getting safer and that he would feel comfortable walking around any time of the day or night, anywhere. He is saying, well, I don't know much about this because it hasn't been reported to Garda Síochána. He's probably doing like everyone else does these days. He's going to social media to get his news because that's the only reliable source that there actually is these days. So let's get into this one. This one takes the biscuit. One of the commentators for the NFL, Tom Pelissero, said the Steelers' trip to Dublin wasn't without some drama. Join the queue, Steelers. Sources say backup quarterback Skylar Thompson got jumped and robbed on Friday night in Dublin. Thompson, who's on injured reserve, suffered minor injuries, thankfully. Could have ended up much worse. Could have been bottled, stabbed, killed. He's back with the team. Statement from the Steelers spokesman, Bert Lawton, said, "We're aware of a situation," even they're using the word situation, an incident that occurred on Friday night. "We have no further comment as we are working with NFL security to gather more information regarding this incident." So even the NFL security people are getting involved in this one. There he is, unfortunate recipient of a robbery and a minor assault. Skylar Thompson, as you can see, he's a big lad. And one of the statements that people were making, well, it's okay for Jim O'Callaghan to say he would feel safe. He's 6'5" and he's 3 feet wide, big lump of a lug of a man. But that doesn't matter either if they're jumping NFL quarterbacks. He was jumped and robbed in Temple Bar while in Dublin for an NFL game. So there he is, Skylar Thompson, age 28, fit, prime of his life, briefly hospitalized with minor injuries following the incident, which happened while he was socializing on a Friday night. You know, you're in Dublin, you're traveling, you've heard about the crack and the Guinness. Temple Bar prices won't affect you if you're an NFL quarterback, but that doesn't get you off the hook when it comes to mingling with Dublin's finest on the streets. Oh no. Pittsburgh Steelers backup quarterback was briefly hospitalized. The Irish Independent learned that a number of males were involved in an assault on Thompson near the Temple Bar area. Who would have thought? Getting jumped by a group of men in the Temple Bar? Just normal Dublin life. He suffered minor injuries, taken by ambulance to St. James Hospital, but discharged the time later. And here we're going to see Jim O'Callaghan says, well, I don't know much about this. It wasn't reported to Garda Síochána. They were too busy policing the traffic. They had a huge operation going on, security operation around Croke Park and security operation to police the traffic, but they weren't minding Temple Bar on Friday night when the players were out getting slapped and robbed. The Pittsburgh Steelers played the Minnesota Vikings yesterday in the first ever regular season NFL game taking place in Ireland. So it was a big event. It was a huge event for Dublin. 70,000 people in Croke Park to watch the NFL. And of course, The publicity that this is going to get is terrible. And if you actually look back at the this post that the commentator put out, you can see it's been viewed over 6 million times. 6 million times. And people are going to think, well, if that happens to an NFL quarterback out walking around in Dublin on a Friday night, I'm hardly going to be safe, am I? If I'm a normal common or garden tourist. Terrible publicity. Terrible publicity. US media outlets are reporting he was jumped and robbed. So, they're all reporting on it too, and not in a very favorable light. In a statement, the Steelers says, we're aware, we'll have further comment. Security are working on this. And of course, the NFL Network reporter, Pelissero, has relayed all this back to the US. It is the latest high-profile incident in Temple Bar and the surrounding area following the stabbing of an English tourist last weekend and a serious assault on another English tourist, which left the victim with serious head injuries and in a terrible condition in hospital. Now we have an NFL quarterback, but Jim O'Callaghan says it's getting safer. It's getting safer. Well, if this is getting safer, it shudders. The mind boggles and you shudder to think what it was like before. Jim's detached from reality. Let's be brutally honest about it. And this is the rub in all of this. A large-scale Garda policing plan and traffic management plan was in place for the event on Sunday. But they weren't around Temple Bar on Friday night. Or if they were, they weren't doing their job very well. Garda said heavy volumes of traffic can be expected in Dublin. Yeah, heavy volumes of traffic. Yeah, you can police that. But what about the crime? You not put two and two together and think, well, if there's 70-odd thousand people going to be in and around Dublin extra for the Sunday game, some people traveling, many people traveling from America, tourists coming over from England. Again, 2 of them have already been attacked in the last month. Should we not up our patrols? A tailgate party is also taking place in Merrion Square yesterday, and a fan march will take place from Fairview Park. Fairview Park, that's another notorious crime hotspot. Other associated events. So that's the event. Now we'll have Jim O'Callaghan's reaction to this. No reports were made to Gardaí about the attack, says Justice Minister. It was reported he was attacked and robbed, but he didn't report it to Gardaí, said O'Callaghan. Well, what are they going to do? It's like closing the stable door after the horse is bolted. Thank God he's all right, this guy. He wasn't murdered. The Justice Minister said there's no reports. Well, here's the report, Jim. If you don't get it from anywhere else, I'm telling you what happened. Good grief. Jim O'Callaghan said no complaint has been made in respect to the alleged criminal offence. It has been referred to as an incident. I'm not aware that it's been reported to Garda Síochána. He's not aware. He's the Justice Minister. Why is he not aware? He should say it hasn't or it has. If someone has been the attack of an assault or a theft in the city centre, they must report it. I know Gardaí are aware of this. There's further information in respect of this that was placed in the public domain. Yeah, get with the programme, Jim. I'm certain that this is the type of attack on tourists that we've had to engage with and respond to previously. I'm not absolutely certain. If Jim O'Callaghan, the Justice Minister, isn't absolutely certain, then what's he doing in that job? Not that he should have ever been in it. He failed his way into that position. He's useless. Social Democrat TD Gary Gannon said it's a trend. Tax on tourists is a trend. It's a member of the Irish TD in the Irish Dáil. More needs to be done to keep residents and tourists safe. Well, not if the Justice Minister thinks it's getting safer and enough is being done. What do you think is going to happen? Speaking to RTE, Gannon said it's a trend. Every week we hear of different incidents, assaults in the Keys, people stabbed in the city. Now we've had an incredible situation where an NFL quarterback was attacked and robbed. I walk through the city every day. I love it, but I'm not speaking down on it. But we do have substantial issues that aren't going to be addressed by wishing it away. Well, the same could be said for the Social Democrats, if the truth be told. We're not going to wish them away either, but we're hoping that they go. So what do you think? If you're listening, especially from outside of Ireland, you're a tourist, you're thinking about coming here, and loads of people leave comments under my videos and say, we were going to come, but now we're not. It's not all like this everywhere, but without a shadow of a doubt, you pays your money, you take your chances in Dublin city centre these days. Would this put you off coming? Are you an American? Would this put you off if the NFL players are getting jumped and robbed? What hope does that give you that you're going to be safe? Especially if you're a frail little person, So anyway, that's the state of play at the minute. Tell me what you think below. Cut and paste the link to this video. Drop it into your Facebook and WhatsApp groups. Share, and subscribe if you feel like it. But if you don't, I won't fall out with you. The most important thing is that you've watched. Drop a comment and share the content. For now, I'm Rick Munn. This is No Risk, No Reward Media. Over and out.